Hello everybody, welcome to the final event of the 2024 Goodyear FIA European Truck Racing Championship Digital Racing Challenge here from Misano. This beautiful circuit in eastern Italy is the location for our finale, but it's also the location for the first round in the Real World Championship, which is coming up in just a couple of weeks' time. It's amazing how quickly that's going to be upon us though. 4 weeks from today, we will be at Misano and racing. 5 weeks from today. I clearly can't count. But it's going to be amazing to get the championship underway at this excellent location. It's a very tight and twisty circuit for these trucks. It really is one that really harms tyres over the course of a run. But it's certainly going to be a healthy race meeting here this evening to complete our 2024 season. My name is Chaz Draker, up here in the virtual commentary box for the finale with the wonderful Giro Mulkow on the directing duties as always. And what we're going to do before we get into the nitty-gritty of this evening is have a quick look back at the previous round of the championship that set us up for this great finale. Hard onto the brakes there. I love the look of this Actros in this full black livery. Really does look the part. Gets it slowed down, tips it in. You can see how patient they have to be on the steering as well. Through the final couple of corners. There's a lot of runoff there, but you don't want to use too much of it. And actually into the pits goes Julian Russell. Decides that he's either going to go and get fresh tyres, fill up on fuel, not quite sure at that point, maybe just cool the truck down a little bit again before heading back out. Here's Nathan Smith in the number 11 machine, running the replica livery of his father, David Smith, who's racing in the British Truck Racing Championship this year. Nathan runs slightly wide, to say the least, as he comes out of the left-hander at turn 6. Down the back straight he goes. Number 17 just having a bit of a wiggle in front of him there on the brakes. That's Norbert Juhasz. Just kicking the back end out slightly. You can see how easy it was to do that for Norbert. Just overdid it that little bit. Up into the hairpin again. You can see the back end trying to wobble and break away. A little bit of a lock up. Pulls it out though. You can see the Goodyear tyre writing just starting to rotate again after the lock up. Building back up the wheel speed itself. Norbert down in 26th position at the moment. No time on the board from Andreas Wagner at this moment in time. And in 28th place, we have the two broadcast PCs down there, as you can see as well. But yeah, Andreas not taking part in qualifying, it seems. Not sure if he's just trying to stay out of trouble or what, but yeah, he's not taken to the circuit. Jorge Villa has currently got 3rd position in the bag. I'll say in the bag. There's 0.005 of a second between himself and Lucas Hahn, so very, very close together. Robin Kreutoff and Enrique Marcos are close as well, but then they've got a good 0.4 of a second gap over the likes of Gergo Balai and Cornel Berquez in the MAN and the Iveco. Jorge pushing very hard indeed. You can see the speed that he's carrying into Curva Tramonto at the top there. Really pushing it in. You can see the back end trying to break away, but he's got it all under control. Now down the back straight, building up to 100 miles an hour, 160 kilometers an hour. There's Jose Maria Rosa, number 96 for the Spanish driver in the very brightly coloured machine. Currently 17th fastest at the moment is Jose Maria in a little lineup of Scanias that we've got, with Henry Tyhus, then German Tobias Martinez just behind. Just ahead of him is Julien Martin, truck number 8. Julien was right up there at his home race last time out at Jarama, but this time round the Spanish driver's not quite as on the pace as they were at Jarama. It was very nip and tuck at the top of the field, but this time round there is a definite gap. Julien is 1.2 seconds off Norby, and a little bit too hot there, and just kisses the grass slightly, but a great recovery actually onto the hairpin. Does very, very well in that part of the circuit. He's still improving in both sectors at the moment. Around the final corner he goes, hop, skip and a jump over the sausage curbs. Down past the gorgeous new pit building here at Misano, and Julien Martin is 7th fastest as of now. Here's Gyula Zentai just coming to the line in the Freightliner, truck number 70, one of the last trucks to cross the line before the session gets checkered flagged. And the checkered flag does come out. There's German Tobias Martinez. I think he was the last truck to cross the line and will now have a final lap left to go. Next up is going to be Nathan Smith to the line, and then I think it's Gergo Balai. They're the next trucks to complete their laps. This is Henry Tyhus in the number 15 machine, based on Erwin Klein-Nagelvort's Scania, as far as I know, as he just comes into the last sector. Again, you've got to be so tidy on the brakes there, just not to overdo it. You're coming from the highest speed that the trucks will do into a curved braking zone. Kicks the back end out slightly with one corner to go. He continues on the lap, but he's not improved in any of these sectors so far by the look of it. And across the line he goes. And no improvement, unfortunately, for Henry Tyhus. There's, Julien Martin's just gone off the circuit on the right-hand side of shot. There's Shabox Kerry continuing on a lap. We've got Jorge Villa still on the circuit, but Norbert Kish, Csaba Hegedus, Lucas Hahn, Robin Kroitov, Enrique Marcos all completed their laps. Julien Martin is, well, not going to improve based on what we just saw a moment ago. Two of the Freightliners in front there. That was truck number 70, which is Gila Zentai. Then in there as well was Jose Alemani, truck number 73, the yellow and blue machine. Just in front of us there as we ride on board with Kerry now. See how much lock they're having to put on to get the truck to behave itself around these final corners. Moves to the right hand side as Alemani heads to the pits. So too actually does Gila Zentai. Look at that, all the lock in the world from Kerry onto the power, builds up the revs. That 2,500 RPM across the line, and no improvement there from Kerry, unfortunately, in terms of position. 21st place in that session, and I think once German Tobias Martinez crosses the line, he's actually just going to the pit lane. So yeah, Martinez will not be improving, so it's going to be the final pole position of the season that's determined by qualifying anyway, is the property of Norbert Kish. Simple as that. Csaba Hegedus on the front row as well. Great stuff from him. But we will now give it a second to get all the trucks lined up on the grid, and then we will go through your starting grid in just a moment's time. Basically, when everybody's all lined up, we'll have a great shot of them down the start-finish straight. And you'll see exactly what we have before us in terms of such a beautiful field. It's always been a really colourful and well-presented field in this championship. I suppose one of the logistical changes in the virtual world of this racing is that you don't have to physically wrap the trucks as such. So the liveries can be a little bit more out there. But this first chicane here at Misano is going to be mighty, mighty tough for these drivers. They're going to have to be very controlled and very calm heading into there. I can tell you that for free. It's not going to be easy. It's one of those corners where you really want to outbrake somebody at the first opportunity that you get. But you have to think about the fact that it leads into a chicane. So it's a large chicane. It's not like the sort of smaller chicanes you'd see at Zolder. It's a right, left, right section. So as long as you're on the right-hand side, you should be okay. But we have seen it in the past where drivers go into that chicane on the outside of the circuit and leave it in the lead, or at least ahead of the driver they were trying to overtake, simply because they've managed to carry the speed around the outside and the other driver has had to concede when it comes to the left-hand section. So it's a familiar sight with Norbert Kish on pole position. I'm sure when we head to Misano in a couple of weeks' time for the start of the Real World Series, that we may see a similar sight. A lot of the teams, including Norby and Revace Racing, were at Most, like I've said, during the week, and last weekend as well, doing a lot of testing. It was the first opportunity they got to test the new Goodyear tyres for the season ahead. And from judging from social media, everybody had a good time, and a lot of the teams were very happy with the progress that they'd made and got all the trucks together, and it was a good chance for them all to just see how they all compared and how the trucks felt ahead of the campaign. So just a couple of minutes then before we get going, and just to re-explain as well, we have 12 laps on the counter at the top. The lights will show up on the screen when they have effectively what will be a standing start, but the first lap of the race is counted as the formation lap, so the drivers will peel round 2 by 2, and then we'll have a rolling start choreographed by the drivers themselves. It's fantastic cooperation from them all and great work to get it to work out each time. And a big thanks to the drivers as well, because all season and all along they have had such great cooperation. Well, we've had great cooperation from them. They've all really played the game with what we wanted to do with this championship and make it work, and they've all done such an awesome job with drivers' briefings and all sorts. And the report system as well, week in, week out, in case there were incidents. It's been really, really good. There's actually some lovely messages going back into the game chat at the moment as well. Gillian Christine saying good luck to everybody. David West as well saying cheers, good luck everyone. And Vincent Lahost is saying good luck everybody. Thanks for this fantastic championship. David West is saying it's been fun even for a backmarker, bless him. Starts this race 24th on the grid. But I'm sure he's going to go out there and still enjoy himself for this final ride. We've still got one more race after this evening. Don't forget, we have race 1 right now, which will be the 15th round of the championship. Then we'll have a quick break. You'll have some highlights to look at, and then we'll come back and get everybody lined up on the grid with the top 8 reversed for the 16th and final race of the season. We'll try and update you on points as well as we go along, but also after race 2, stick around because we'll try and get you the provisional results before any penalties or reports or any protests or anything like that, and we'll get you the provisional results at the end, and we'll do the maths. And Gero is working like mad behind the scenes to try and get all of this sorted so that we can give you as much information on the night as possible, so you don't have to go away afterwards and go looking for it elsewhere. We'll try and inform you as best we can here tonight on the official Goodyear FIA European Truck Racing Championship YouTube channel. Hello to all of you that are there in the chat. Lovely to have you along with us for this evening. Chaz Draco up here in the virtual commentary box, commentator for the real world Goodyear FIA European Truck Racing Championship as well. And I'm really looking forward to getting back amongst the paddock and see everybody for the new season in 2024. So then they peel away from the grid, and said grid looks like this. It's Norbert Kish on pole position with Csaba Hergédis alongside him, truck number 34, doing a great job in the final qualifying session of the season. Jorge Vila starts from the second row of the grid with Norby directly in front of him. Lucas Hahn is alongside him on the second row. Then we have Robin Kreutoff in 5th position. The Rainbow Warrior lines up alongside Enrique Marcos in 6th place. Then it's Julien Martin and Gergo Balai on row 4. A very exciting lineup there. Cornel Burkes and Vincent Lahoste will complete the top 10 in 9th and 10th, followed by Bastien Donker and Jari Stark on the 6th row of the grid. Then we have Bjorn Teichhuis in 13th place, lining up alongside Gyula Zentai in the Freightliner. Next up is Gillian Christian in one of the MAN TGSs. Also an MAN driver alongside him is Nathan Smith, truck number 11. We then have Jose Maria Rosa and German Tobias Martinez, 17th and 18th. Henry Teichhuis is next up in 19th position with Jose Alemani completing the top 20 drivers. Then it's Shabolks Kerry in 21st, and we then have in 21st position, he's got just coming up as Alberto GD at the moment on my screen, unfortunately, but we may have a new driver there that I didn't get the name for earlier, so I do apologise if I missed that one. Victor Shabardos 23rd, and 24th is David West. We then have Julian Ressel and Norbert Juhasz on row 13, and Andreas Wagner in there as well. The 27 trucks for these final 2 races of the season. Look forward to seeing how everybody gets on here. Norbert Kish, pole position once again. He needs to just stay in front of Jorge Vila to extend that championship lead slightly. It's only 6 points coming into this race with those drop scores included. Aaron Washington in the chat saying Norbert Kish is on pole and this isn't even the real thing. Doesn't bode well for the other races once the real thing starts. Well, to be fair, Norby is so well polished in the sim as well. It's how he stays really in tune with what the truck does, and it's a nod to just how amazingly realistic simulators can be these days. You know, the physics behind them is fantastic. The way that you can mod these vehicles into it is just awesome. The guys have done a great job working with real drivers to make these trucks as close as possible to the real things. So around the final corner we go then, 2x2 flying formation, and the 15th race in the 16-round championship here in the Goodyear FIA European Truck Racing Championship Digital Racing Challenge from Misano is underway, and it's a great start from the front row. Jorge Vila bogs down slightly. Csaba Hergédis slots in right behind Norby as early as he can, and Lucas Hahn will attack down the inside of Vila to try and take that 3rd position away from him. Starting 4th on the grid. He always had that job in mind, but he's backed out slightly there, and Robin Kreutoff is now next to him in the Scania T. Just behind them is Enrique Marcos. Gergo Balai's made up a place ahead of Julien Martin. And then Vincent Lahoste is stuck in that battle as well, but it's very single file at the front. All the guys taking it carefully through the first set of corners. Just seeing if there's any dramas further down the order. There's a little bit of bumping and barging here and there, but I think everybody's got round cleanly. There is Julien Martin in 7th place. You can see that divide in the field there, where they're all fighting away. Bastien Donker sliding through shots sideways. Jari Stark running wide. Jose Maria Rose is on the grass in the background as well. Still trying to get back on the circuit by the look of it. And here's a bit of contact down the back straight. Jari Stark along the barrier. Hopefully doesn't bounce into the field. How has he not been hit there? Oh my goodness me, I've got no idea how Jari Stark did not get collected by anyone there. There's been a bit of kerfuffle down at the left-hander, down at Curva Quercia, but wow. There's been a reel going around all over social media at the minute about a Ferrari going backwards across the field in front of loads of cars at IMSA and not getting hit. That was just a carbon copy, but with trucks it's an even bigger feat. That is unbelievable. No idea how Jari Stark didn't get hit there. Incredible stuff. Jose Maria Rosa right in the thick of it once again. He's got Jose Alemany just in front of him. Behind him, we have another new driver to the series. Again, unfortunately, everybody, I didn't get his name earlier on. I've just got his initials as GD at the moment, so I do apologise. We'll try and get to that before the second race at least. I want to leave said driver unnamed for the rest of the evening, but still stuck in a good battle there. Nathan Smith sideways, nearly getting onto the grass. As Jose Maria Rosa sends one up the inside there. Very clumsy on Jose Alemany. There's contact in the background as well. Smith involved in that. Alemany still trying to recover actually in the Freightliner. Nathan side by side there with Tyhoos, Henry Tyhoos that is, just as they come into the last corner. A little bit of a bump and a push there. They've got bumper bars for a reason, so they're using them. Jari Stark running wide in the background as well. But what a busy first lap that was further down the order. Up at the front, Norbert Kish continues to lead. Csaba Hergédez, then it's Jorge Vila, then Lucas Hahn. Robin Kruithoff completes the 5. Julian Ressel right in the thick of it here as well. And this is only for 25th place for Julian Ressel. This is just what the battles are like further down. A little bit of a tap there with Andreas Wagner. He goes sideways. He's going to come back on at some point. A little bit of a hip and shoulder as he returns on. And Julian Ressel has to wrestle the truck back onto the racing surface. But busy stuff down here. It's Norbert Juhasz, truck number 17. The really old school MAN is Jose Alemany and Nathan Smith decide they want to go for a day at the beach. There's more contact as they come back on. Flipping out, these guys are really getting their elbows out. I said to our director before the race got underway that, to be fair, it's either last day of school vibes or really clean because everybody's been a really reserved, well-behaved driver in the final round. Despite David West saying it's been fun even for a back marker, he has unfortunately confirmed that the start that he's had wasn't fun this time round. He's dropped down to 27th place. Here's the battle for second then. Jorge Vila hoping to close in on Csaba Hergédez, then go running after Norbert Kish, but Norby's always been so good around here at Misano that he is just streaking away. 1.6 seconds to the good at the minute. Then it's Lucas Hahn behind these guys in 4th place. Robin Kruithoff pretty much safe in 3rd in the championship, so he's going to be quite confident to just sit there behind Lucas. Lucas will want to do everything in his power though to get some more podiums before the season is done. Jorge Vila, well, he's not got all the time in the world to try and recuperate this championship gap. 6 points is all he trails Norbert Kish by. He's going to be pushing like mad to try and gain places. Don't worry, we've explained plenty of times this season that boost bar is not operational in the mod of the trucks. It's not that he's had a turbocharger failure and he's just naturally quick, but that will not render that information to us anyway as spectators of this. But for the drivers themselves, of course, you will see that boost still working, which is great to see. But yeah, it's one of those things in sim racing sometimes when you're sort of spectating it. We will not see all of the information they will. It's great the dash still works. We've still got the mirrors as well, and you can see that right behind us filling those mirrors is Lucas Hahn, and he is right there in the Iveco trying to do what he can do to gain a place, get onto the podium, while Jorge Vila has a go at Csaba Hergédez. He's surely going to have a go here and line it up to look down the inside. No, he's not. We look back here from the number 34 Iveco, the MAN, towering over the rear bumper bar. Certainly filling the mirrors indeed right now is Jorge Vila, doing everything within his power to try and unsettle Csaba for that position. He's having a little look down the inside, but Csaba's put the truck where he needs to. Ooh, there's a tiny opening there on the exit, but not enough this time round. Wow, close stuff up the front of the order. Norbert Kish now 2.3 seconds clear. And this battle will be all but helping him, to be honest with you. He'll be really pleased that this is going on, but Csaba's in a great position right now. We've seen it from the HVML guys before, though. Sorry, the urban sim racing guys, not the HVML guys. That they have this great pace at the start of the race, but sometimes they kill their tyres. We did see a bit of a theme of it. I think it's Cornel Burkes, isn't it, his teammate, number 64. We saw the two of them, especially at the Hungaro ring as well, actually. They became what commentators call the cork in the bottle. where they were just holding up a number of trucks by the time the race ended, but defending brilliantly, but they just didn't have the pace to break away from anybody that was chasing them down, unfortunately. And it is easy to overly push at the start of the race. Norbert Kish has done 2 minutes 0.6, by the way, which is pretty much qualifying pace at the start of this race. He's absolutely on a mission here in the early stages. On to the 5th lap of 12 of this race. That includes the formation lap, those 12 laps. Well, this is another great battle, and this is what the championship's all been about. You know, there's these great chases. There may not be an overtake every single corner, but there doesn't have to be for motorsport to be interesting. You have to have these intriguing chases and these fights, because the pressure that Hegedus is under right now from Jorge Vila, one of the front runners in the championship, to just not make a mistake is so respectful. You know, you've got to, I mean, the way I mean to word that is you have to respect it from Xabi Hegedus, because he's really pushing right now. And Jorge Vila is putting a lot of pressure on him, but at the same time he's not being silly with it. He's not just bumping him out of the way. He's not just sending it down the inside. There's great respect between these drivers and how closely they can race each other. And look, Vila trying it round the outside, but the back steps out a little bit there. Lucas Hahn could maybe have an advantage here on the exit. Doesn't seem like he was able to get enough of a run to make a difference this time round. It's definitely Vila attacking Hegedus though. Sometimes it's not a great position to be in where Jorge Vila is right now, where you're trying to attack the driver in front, but you've also got to think about defending if you do go for a move and if it doesn't work. Lucas Hahn will be right in there to take advantage if there is any sort of mistake from Jorge. Through the penultimate corner once again they go, just about to start lap 6 of the race here at Misano. This excellent chase is shaping the championship battle here in the favour of Norbert Kish. He's not going to gain a massive amount of points from this, but he's still going to gain a couple that could be all important from the end of the campaign, because let's not forget they're going to be reversed in their positions in the second race of the evening. If it finished like this as of right now, Norby would start 8th on the grid, with Jorge Vila directly in front of him 6th on the grid. So every point that Norbert gains now, he needs to try and hold on to, because that's what forms his buffer for the last race of the championship. Hegedus is doing such a good job though here in the urban sim racing truck. Absolutely hanging on to it. The back end steps out slightly as he comes through turn 6. Jorge Vila, I think, has got the run though and got alongside. Down the back straight he has, down towards Curva Quercia. He's got his nose alongside at least. Is he late enough on the brakes to make it work? He really sends it in. Can Hegedus get a cutback? No, he can't. Beautiful, beautiful move that by Jorge Vila. Really clean, really well calculated. Now, Hegedus needs to just keep his head on here and not try and come back at him too aggressively. He just needs to give it a couple of corners, try and get back in the fight, see whether he can find a way back round. Maybe just chase him for a lap, just see where he's got an advantage over him, whether he's got any sort of disadvantage in certain corners, try and calculate how to overcome it. Lucas Hahn didn't seem to want to attack there. He's happy to just sit where he is for now and have this battle develop in front of him. But that was excellent stuff by Jorge Vila. That's exactly how you want the move to be done. Nice and clean, really well calculated. He got it stopped, got it on the apex, didn't run ridiculously wide, have to cut back across Hegedus or anything like that. Really top-notch racing that. Here's Julien Martin, truck number 8 in 7th position. He's a little bit off the back of this train, so too is Enrique Marcos, but if they carry on battling, then the two of them could catch up. We look now at Lucas Hahn in the middle of this. Again, he could be the one to take advantage of any changes in front of him. But what a fantastic first half of the race we've had. I can't believe we're already on lap 7 out of 12 here, to be honest with you. The drivers using every inch of the track that they can there. Every bit of curb, every sausage curb and all sorts. And there's been a bit of a shuffle a bit further down the order. Some of them having a bit of contact here and there. Victor Shabardos, Nathan Smith, Yari Stark also involved in that one. They all seem to have carried on going based on the track map that I can see here. Actually, no, I think it was ahead of them. I do apologise. Gillian Christian and Shabox Kerry were involved in some of those shenanigans. Here's Vincent Lahoste, truck number 28, chasing down Cornel Burkes in truck 65. for the Urban Sim Racing Iveco, running very wide, nearly has to pay to get back in. But ahead of them, just up the road, is truck 86, which is Gergo Balai. Now Gergo, importantly, is in 8th position at the moment, and that puts him on provisional pole for race 2. He will start right at the front of the field, and he'll have Julien Martin alongside him as well in truck number 8. The two of them will be potentially trying to just play the game over the course of the evening. You've got to play to the format really, and think if you are in 8th position, is it worth going for it for that 7th place? Or, you know, if there's someone behind you, you have to think about defending as hard as you can. Bjorn is now moving around all over the back of Bastien Donker, moving left and right, just weaving almost down the straight to show him that he's filling the mirrors and that he wants to get by. So I want doesn't get, by the look of it. Bastien Donker trying to just focus on his own race basically. For the battle at the front of the field, Lucas Hahn has now gained on Csaba Hegedus, and you see it here. Now Jorge Vila is the one that's got away slightly. Lucas will want to get past his fellow Iveco driver as soon as possible. You can see he thought about moving over to the right there, didn't end up doing it. Got to think that Lucas will be getting a little bit frustrated to be sitting here knowing that he's got the pace over Csaba right now to get by and go running after Jorge Vila. His main opportunity to try and get another podium. You've got to respect the amount of control they have though to be this close to each other at all times. I suppose one of the benefits of truck racing, unless you're in the Scania T-cab that's just behind Lucas Hahn, is the fact that the windscreen is basically where the very front of the truck is. So you've got a great idea of how long the nose of the thing is and where you can place it. But Lucas now heading down towards Kervaquesia in 4th position. A little bit of a bump there to the Urban Sim Racing machine, but nothing too untoward. These trucks always bounce and knock off one another. It's part of truck racing. I mean, it's part of most motorsport that you get minor contact here and there when it's close, but we're talking about these 5-ton racing machines that take up a considerable amount more racing circuit than any other racing machines you will see. They are the biggest and best that motorsport has to offer. Lucas now has this man right behind him, Robin Kruithoff for Rainbow Warrior Truck Racing, the Dutch truck racing team DTR squad. Robin racing this truck in real life as well. Has been doing in the Dutch Truck Racing Championship. Here is Nathan Smith, once again in the thick of it. Fellow white and blue truck driver Jose Maria Rosa right in it as well. These two have had so many scraps all season long. Down the inside he goes. Still side by side actually now as they get down towards the final couple of corners, and Jose Maria Rosa looks down the inside. Oh, Jose's got sideways there, but Nathan Smith goes through. Really tough racing. Oh, Jose goes very deep into the braking zone. Jari Stark watching all of this goes, go on then, I'll have a bit of it as well. Tries to get around the outside of Jose. The two of them nearly end up going off the road together. Oh, they're so close to each other around the final corner. I think there was a little bit of a rub and a bit of a knock here and there. Oh, there's more of a knock on the exit. Jari Stark. Oh, he's been absolutely knocked from pillar to post. All over the place here, bless him. One way, then the other. He's not having a race to remember this time, is Jari Stark. We've got now a long run to the braking zone for Robin Kruithoff. He's still watching Lucas Hahn try and get past Csaba Hegedus, but this is the sort of patience that we see from Robin. He's got a very controlled driving style, you know. He's always been one of the good guys of the series, so to speak, you know. It's a fantastic field of people, though. I don't mean any disrespect to any of them by that. But Robin's temperament for his racing has always been so positive, and he's got a lot of great supporters as well that share that same temperament. It's lovely. It's a really positive vibe that he brings to the championship. He's now building up the revs. 160 kilometers an hour. Unlike the real trucks, these are digitally limited to 160 k's. They cannot exceed that. As I say that though, I look down and it just flicks to 161 and then 163, but that's obviously just what the sim is calculating from his connection to us. Oh, brakes into the hairpin. Look at how well they've got to get the things turned in, and then you've got to carry the momentum through corner exit as well. When you're winding the lock off, you have to be so careful, and even then look sideways through the penultimate corner. These drivers really are dancing these things around. On the outside, it doesn't always look that dramatic, but when you see the steering lock and you see what these guys are having to do just to get these trucks round a circuit safely, it is remarkable stuff. It really is a dance, as I've said. Into the chicane once again. Norbert Kish now leads by 3.6 seconds, and he's doing everything he needs to do to try and wrap up that title this evening. This is him putting one hand on the trophy, theoretically. And what a great way to re-enter the 2024 championship in the real world. But, you know, other than grabbing a win in the digital world as well, it'll certainly fill him with even more confidence. Lucas Hahn just in front of Robin Kreutoff now, and it seems like he's not been able to stick with Hegedus over this last lap as Lucas Hahn. Nathan Smith trying his comeback as well. He's got Chevrolet's Kerry just in front. Kerry used to drive in the Freightliner, and well, used to drive in a straight line as well. Very, very sideways there in the MAN. Maybe a little bit too hot into turn 4. Can Nathan capitalise on that? He's going to put his nose down the inside, and he does make it work. But now can Kerry come back through turn 6? Oh, turns to the right a little bit hard there, does Kerry. Maybe pushes that a little bit too far. Now Nathan's just going to try and keep the run in the background. We could just see Jari Stark sideways there. And also now we have Robin Kreutoff attacking Lucas Hahn. Csaba Hegedus has got a free pass out of this now. He's got 2 laps left, and all of a sudden this battle has erupted. Robin Kreutoff now overtaking Lucas Hahn, or trying to, while just behind them Enrique Marcos wants this as well. He's in a great position now, Enrique, to just take advantage of these two. If they continue scrapping, there's a little bit of a tap, another tap as well onto the brakes. Oh, I don't think there was anything intentional there, but flipping heck, that was scary stuff. Before you get to a big braking zone like that, that is not the place you want to be making contact. It is mighty, mighty close stuff this though, and again Robin Kreutoff looks down the inside, tries to fill the mirrors of Lucas's Iveco. Onto the penultimate lap of the race we go. Norbert Kish leads the way now with a very healthy margin. 4.2 seconds over Jorge Vila, then Csaba Hegedus in 3rd position. And then this excellent fight for 4th, 5th and 6th. It's been a fight that's been going on all race technically. It's just been one long chase. As Kerry, once again, Kerry's not driven in a straight line for about 3 laps by the look of it. Sideways absolutely everywhere in the MA, and he's putting all the lock on in the world and then just dealing with the consequences on the exit. It's very entertaining driving. Nathan Smith now trying to pile the pressure on down the start finish straight. Can he do anything into the first chicane? No. But he's just, well, trying to smoothly follow the line, I guess. He goes to the right-hand side a little bit, tries to get a cut back. Oh, it's beautifully executed. Can he make it work all the way around the outside? Oh, that is delightful. Delightful stuff from Nathan Smith. Ascend one way, then the other. That was excellent, Nathan. Brilliant, brilliant stuff. He's just got to pray now that Kerry doesn't barrel into him like he nearly did a lap or so ago. Jari Stark again, bless him, getting tail whipped all over the place. Now he gets elbowed. Oh, poor Jari. That Freightliner really does need retiring after this season. It's not going to have a straight paddle on it. Side by side with the driver of the number 43 machine, the unnamed driver, so to speak, for this evening. Side by side now down towards Keva Quercia once again. What a great entertaining race this has been. Jari gives him a little bit of a rub at the tyre right in, says, yeah, this is Braille, read this. Through he goes. Oh, runs wide on the exit though. Can he keep it? Yes, I think Jari's got this one because he's going to be on the inside now for the next couple of corners. I'm not sure if you can tell, with a huge smile on my face. This is fantastic entertainment once again from the Goodyear FIA European Truck Racing Championship Digital Racing Challenge. Hope you're all enjoying yourselves as well on this Sunday night. This is, not forgetting, our final race meeting of the season. Penultimate race of the championship, and we now come into the final lap of said race, and Norbert Kish is now going through the first couple of corners with a really healthy gap. It's stayed about 4.2, 4.4 seconds. It fluctuates based on what corner they're at, but he's done a really solid job, and so too is Jorge Vila. I mean, as always, as he has done all season, Jorge Vila has just been so consistent and so quick, but he had to battle through and get past Csaba Hegedus in the early stages here, and Hegedus has done an awesome job here. He's on his way to a podium in this race. He just needs to keep it tidy over the last couple of laps. Lucas Hahn is still in front of Robin Kreutoff and Enrique Marcos as well. then it's Julien Martin in 7th place. He's been very under the radar for this race, actually, as Julien. We have this battle going on still with Robin Kruithoff and Lucas Hahn, the two of them still side by side. Enrique Marcos wants a bit of this as well. He's actually found a gap down the inside of Robin. It's going to be a very compromised exit though, and to be fair, he's going to be on the outside of a triple apex right-hander here, so I'm sure that's the best place to be. He could try and get a cutback out of this though and get a run on the exit, and that's exactly what he's doing. Look, takes a later apex, tries to smooth out the run based on what these guys are doing in front of him. It's Hahn, Kruithoff and Marcos, and hopefully keep it clean in the last couple of corners, because Robin's going to want to have a bit of a send here and have a look. It's his last opportunity. But further up the order, well, he's done an amazing job and won 7 races already this season out of 14 that we've had. And this is going to be a theoretical single hand on the trophy now for potentially his 4th championship in the Goodyear FIA European Truck Racing Championship Digital Racing Challenge. Hands together for Norbert Kish, who wins round 15 of the season here at Misano. Amazing job once again. Streaks away from the likes of Hegedus and Vila. It's Jorge Vila in 2nd place. Csaba Hegedus is in 3rd. And Lucas Hahn just holds off Robin Kruithoff at the end. Great battle in between those guys. Next up was, of course, Enrique Marcos. Julien Martin was behind them. He finishes in 7th position. Importantly, on the front row of the grid with that man there, Gergo Balai, will take pole position for race number 2. Cornel Burquez was next up, completing the top... No, sorry, not completing the top 10. It was Vincent Lahorst that completes the top 10. My apologies. I do try and write them down while calling them out as well at the end of the race, just to make sure. Bastian Donker finished in 11th, ahead of Bjorn Taihus in truck 51. Then it was Gyula Zentai ahead of German Tobias Martinez in truck 33. And then it was Gillian Christian in 15th place. Nathan Smith finished in 16th after a busy race, especially that, overtaking Shabok's Kerry. And Jari Stark was next up in 18th position. Another very lively race for Jari. More drifting as well from Alberto, as he's just going to be known in truck number 43. Henry Taihus completes the 20. Then it's Jose Alemani, Victor Chabados in the Volvo, Norbert Juhasz, truck 17, Jose Maria Rosa, Andreas Wagner, David West, and then Julian Ressel completing the field. But Norbert Kish takes his 8th race win out of 15 races, more than 50% win ratio so far this season. He's going to start from 8th position on the grid for the 2nd race, but that has done him a lot of favours in terms of the championship when it comes to this last race. He's going to have one hand on the trophy now, as I've said, and he'll be really confident going into that last round. Just needs to keep it tidy, just needs to stick with Jorge Vila, basically. If he can just finish one place behind him, that pretty much guarantees it. But we'll do the maths and we'll figure out what he needs to take that victory, and we'll see what we figure out. Basically, he's 11 points clear, I'm told by our director. Thank you very much, Giro, for letting me know. 11 points ahead now with this final race. So I'm being told if Jorge wins the race, Norby has to finish 3rd. So as long as Norby finishes on the podium, no matter what happens, he wins the championship. But we'll do the maths as it goes on. We'll base it off Jorge's position, where Norby needs to be. But he's done everything he needed to do so far and took pole position and a race win in round 15 of the campaign. And with just one race left to go, it is all very suspenseful, isn't it? We're just going to take a quick break here on the Goodyear FIA European Truck Racing Championship YouTube channel. The 16th and final race of our Digital Racing Challenge will be with you in just a few minutes' time. But for now, you can enjoy some highlights, and I'll be back with you in just a sec. And there we go, everybody. That's how the first race of the night panned out here in the Goodyear FIA European Truck Racing Championship Digital Racing Challenge. Norbert Kish taking the win from Jorge Villar, Csaba Hegedus and Lucas Hahn, with Robin Krojtov completing the top 5 positions. But now we are back for the second race of the evening and the final race of the championship here in 2024 from Misano. And it means that the top 8 on the grid from that result are now reversed, much like we do in the real world in races 2 and 4 of the weekend. It's Gergo Balai who inherits pole position. He's on the right hand side of your shot there in the green number 86 HVML machine. Alongside him on the front row is going to be Julien Martin. Julien was really quick back at Harama, but he's not been as on the pace here this evening. Still a great result in 7th place though, lots of points, with Enrique Marcos just behind him in 3rd place. Enrique, again, is another one that he's played the game quite well at certain race meetings and been able to be right up there, taking race victory earlier on in the season. He's had 11 top 10s so far in this campaign. That was before tonight anyway, so he's had 12 now, and then he's had 9 top 5s as the championship's gone on. 4th in the standings coming here, and he needs to try and stay ahead of Lucas Hahn as well, because Lucas was quite close behind him in the early stages. Now they're about to make their way away from the grid. That will begin with Gergo Balai starting from pole position as mentioned. It's going to be Julien Martin in 2nd place. The 2nd row of the grid is Enrique Marcos and Robin Krojtov. Then it's Lucas Hahn in 5th position with Csaba Hegedus alongside him. And then our top 2 from the first race. Jorge Villar starting in 7th place, hoping to take the title away from Norbert Kish, who now has an 11-point lead coming into the final round. He needs to be 3rd if Jorge Villar wins the race. Like I say, our director Gero and I will continually do the maths as it goes on, see what we can update you with in terms of points. Cornel Burquez will start in 9th with Vincent Lahoste in 10th. The 11th place is Bastien Donker. He's alongside Bjorn Teichhuis in 12th. They complete the 6th row of the grid. Then it's Gyula Zentai and German Tobias Martinez next up, with Gillian Christian and Nathan Smith alongside each other. Then we have Shabox Kerry in 17th with Jari Stark 18th. Hopefully for Jari it's a much cleaner race this time. He doesn't get knocked about so much. Then we have Alberto in 19th place, I should say, with Henry Teichhuis completing the top 20. Jose Alemani next up with Victor Chabados alongside him in the Volvo. Then it's Norbert Juhasz in the MAN with Jose Maria Rosa's Scania next up on the grid. 2 MANs on row 13, which is Andreas Wagner and David West, with Julian Ressel completing the 27 truck field for the 16th and final race of 2024 Goodyear FIA European Truck Racing Championship Digital Racing Challenge. It rolls off the tongue by now, everybody. I can tell you that for free. Chaz Draycott up here in the virtual commentary box, commentator for the Real World Series as well, and very excited after all of this to be getting back to the Real Championship as well. I mean, 2 seasons in 1 year. How lucky am I? So, there's Victor Chabados in the thick of it. He's the only Volvo runner this season as well, and he's been flying the flag with pride this time round. He's been really enjoying himself in that Volvo, getting right stuck in with a load of fights. The blue, clearly I'm colourblind, it's the purple, white and green machine that has been very much in the thick of it round after round, but it's the dark green HVML Rebase Sim Racing machine at the front, and it is Gergo Balai that will be hoping to not just complete the roster for some good championship points here for the team, but for himself as well. He comes into this 9th in the championship. I do apologise, it's the Reverse Sim Racing team, not HVML team. They're a little bit further down the order. Norbert Juhasz driving for them. But round 16, the final race of the season in the Digital Racing Challenge here on the official Goodyear FIA European Truck Racing Championship YouTube channel is go. And Gergo Balai makes a great getaway. There's a bit of a check-up in the middle of the field there, and Csaba Hegedus wants to make the most of it down the inside. He has a look at Julien Martin, but it doesn't work this time. Robin Krojtov's involved, and there's a bit of argy-bargy into turn 1. Norbert Kish already in front of Jorge Villar, and Jorge is now stuck on the outside, then the inside, then the outside again. Lucas Hahn is in the middle of that as well. Vincent Lahoste is also in there. Norbert Kish holding the inside line here, and he's trying to get past Csaba Hegedus. He's had a bit of a hit, and he's into Hegedus as well. They're 3 wide as they go through turns 4 and 5. He's got to stick to the inside line. Hopefully no contact on the exit, and Norby's through. He got a hit from behind there, so didn't mean to hit him as well. Vila sideways. Jorge Vila very sideways, comes back on the circuit. Doesn't manage to get involved in any further incident, but goodness me, oh, there's a big, big shoulder barge there, actually. There's side by side, I think that's Cornel Berquez in there. Wow, that was a big, big hit, that. He came back on the circuit. I think he just tried to get on again as soon as possible. Got Robin Kreutoff there, just across the front of him. By the look of it, apparently, the initial sort of run up to the hairpin where the contact was Lucas Hahn involved. Let's look at how close these guys are chasing each other there through the hairpin. But a great start by Gergo Balai. Let's not take that away from him. Oh, Bjorn Tyhus. Well, he's in the quicksand in the background. He's melted through the surface. Bjorn Tyhus having a nightmare of a run. He's gone back to the pit. But Balai leads the way. Then Enrique Marcos. Then Julien Martin. And Norbert Kish up to 4th position already. Jorge Vila so close to taking the title. Needs to really get on with it now, though. He'll feel under a lot of pressure here to try and get past Robin Kreutoff. He just needs to keep his head in the game and not do anything silly. There was a big push there on Kreutoff. No, Vila's over. Jorge Vila gets caught up in it all, and he is tipped over, and he too hits the quicksand. And the physics have done him in, and that has got to be the title done with for Jorge Vila. He ran a little bit deep into the hairpin. There was contact in front, and then there was another bit of contact as the 2 wheels got together. Oh, unbelievable, unbelievable stuff. It's such a shame to see it separated like that. But that is what shot the fox for Jorge Vila. We'll have a look back at it. So you can see he runs into the back of Kreutoff, who then hits Hegedus, and then just behind there's a tiny wheel-to-wheel bit of contact with Cornel Berquez, and that's what tips them over. As, oh no, there's more drama. Csaba Hegedus gets whacked by Julien Martin down the inside into turn 4. And now Cornel Berquez is on the scene as well, side by side with Kreutoff. Norbert Kish gets through the middle of it and gains a place out of it as well. Oh, it's all erupting a little bit here. You'd hope to think that the drivers aren't basing this on Spanish drivers versus Hungarian drivers. You'd have to hope that they just keep it down to whoever they're fighting on the circuit at the time. Norby tries to run around the outside of Julien. He says, no, thank you, none of that. More contacts in the background. Kreutoff doesn't want to let Cornel Berquez back on the road. Oh, Csaba Hegedus next to Norby there. A bit of contact between those two. I think Norby knew he'd got alongside, actually, out of the run from Curva Quercia. Gergo Balai is going to be laughing all the way to the bank at the moment, leading the way by a long shot with Enrique Marcos. Big gap behind those guys as well. But that is big, big drama, that, for Jorge Vila. That's such a shame to see it like that. But these things happen in the sim sometimes, I'm afraid. It's a difficult thing to mod these trucks into it. They are such a different set of physics to any other racing machine that you will ever see. And we all know that sims aren't always perfect. Do happen, unfortunately. It was the wheel-to-wheel contact. We saw it actually, I believe, at Poznan a few weeks ago, where there was a bit of wheel-to-wheel contact in the middle of the order, and it just shot one of the trucks through the floor, unfortunately. Norby trying everything here to get past Julien Martin. Feels that maybe Julien's defending a little aggressively, but we'll see. He's got his 2 countrymen behind him, Csaba Hegedus and Cornel Berquez, the Urban Sim Racing team. I don't know which of them it is that does it, by the way, but one of the Urban Sim Racing guys does some incredible screenshots for Norby, which he puts on his social media after these events. Look at that lovely move down the inside. Norby gets his nose alongside. Julien Martin still wants to try and make the corner. Cuts across him. There's a tiny bit of contact. Norby doesn't want to gain the position like that, though. You can see he backs out of it slightly. Oh, wow. Berquez very sideways there. Robin Kreutoff wants a piece of that. He finds the inside line, moves across as Lucas is there. Oh, and Csaba Hegedus is on the inside line. He's found himself in a 3-wide scenario. There's more contact. Berquez involved as well on the outside. The 2 Urban Sim Racing machines are side by side. Csaba Hegedus and Robin Kreutoff are together. Where on earth has Vincent Lahos come from? Is that Jari Stark in there as well? Jari Stark in 10th position. I don't have a clue where he's come from, but Jari has absolutely flown up the order here to get amongst all this. This is incredibly, incredibly lively stuff. And it continues on. Kreutoff and Hegedus side by side. Jari Stark trying it on Lucas Hahn. Well, if you're not entertained, I don't know why you're not, because this is just excellent stuff. I'll be laughing all the way to the evening. As if it's not evening already. Come on, Chaz. Robin Kroitov around the outside of Csaba Hegedus. That's not going to work, Sunshine, and I'm afraid you've got a big bright yellow and blue thing behind you, and that is Vincent Lahoste. He's trying it. What on earth is Julien Martin doing there? Moving left and right. Not sure if he's sort of signalling to Norby or something to say, make your mind up, are you going left or right? But these guys having an intense battle up at the front. At the end of the day, though, Norby just needs to finish this race now to bank the points, and that will be it, and he will have the title all sewn up because Jorge Vila is out of the race. As Kroitov down the inside of Hegedus. Hegedus somehow saves it, and now Lahoste gets hit from Hahn. Hahn gets hit from Stark. Berkes then hits Stark as well. Nathan Smith's also come flying up the order from way further down earlier. He's having a laugh with this too. He's got past Jari Stark now as they go into the final corner. And flipping out, that was only lap 4 out of 12 in this race, everyone. Cornel Berkes now side by side with Nathan Smith. Nathan gets ahead. Lahoste still in the thick of it. Here's Norby still trying it on Julien Martin. Round the outside. Can he keep enough speed there to get down the inside? No. Julien cuts his nose off once again. Norby tries to hook it up for the exit. Bjorn Teichhuis is unfortunately disconnected from the server. Jorge Vila still in the pit lane as well. He'll be absolutely fuming after that one. He'll be really upset with that. It's been a great campaign though from Jorge Vila and his teammates as well. They've been a joy to have in the series. So exciting to watch week in, week out. Look at this though. These guys are really getting held up by their own battle now. As Julien Martin tries everything to defend from Norbert Kish. Goes all the way over to the left-hand side of the road. Norby's just going to be pushing him down the back straight now. Goes all the way over to the right-hand side. Tries it around the outside of Curva Quercia. He's later on the brakes. Swooping all the way around the outside. He's got a great overlap as Julien hasn't left all the room in the world there. I think he's done what he can do to try and get it back to the inside line, but not enough this time around. You can see Norby braking a little bit early there. Now, is he letting Csaba Hegedus through, or is he just making sure that he doesn't run wide here? I think he's let Csaba go, actually. Yeah, Hegedus has gone through, and look at that. Julien Martin has got nothing for him, and Hegedus disappears on the left-hand side past the number 8 machine. Just slots in behind him. Oh, he cuts the nose off him a little bit. Tap of the brakes there from Martin wasn't enough. Norby wants to try and go back down the inside. Robin Kroitov is right behind all this too. Norby's found a gap down the inside. He's filled the gap and Martin's come across him. Oh, it was one move too many from Julien Martin. He's now slamming on the brakes into the hairpin. Make sure he still gets it stopped. Norby wants to just go through. He's trying everything he can to get past his number 8 machine. It'll be really infuriating for him to sit there and just have that truck block his way, and it looked so easy from Csaba Hegedus. He was just in the right place at the right time around the outside. Julien Martin just moved over to the right basically and let him go. And that'll be even more infuriating from a chasing perspective as, oh, he's actually broken. He slowed down. What on earth was that about? Julien Martin is gone. Whoa. Julien Martin has disappeared. He has disappeared and gone, and Norbert Kish goes through, and now everybody else goes through as well. Lucas Hahn 5th, Robin Kroitov 6th, Lahoste now up to 7th, and Cornel Berkes in 8th position. Well, the fight was a bit much, so it's unfortunate that, of course, we lose Martin from the race, but wow, that was incredibly lively stuff. Now, Norbert Kish can resume the battle with Csaba Hegedus. These two still scrapping away. And through Curva Quercia they go. Back up the hill. Back into the hairpin once more. Still the battle goes on between Lucas Hahn and Robin Kroitov just behind them as well, actually. Those two were glued to each other in the first race of the evening, and now they continue to be once again. Back down the back straight they go. And this part of the circuit is so tricky when you're trying to overtake. We just saw a little bit of contact here and there, and it was just a little bit too much, I think, from Julien Martin. Almost looked like retaliation based on the fact that Jorge Vila was out of the race, but we move on and continue on, and Gergo Balai, up at the front of the order, doesn't have as much daylight between himself and Enrique Marcos anymore, unfortunately. He's got 0.6 of a second. Here is the Panos Albacete Truck Racing ES machine. Gorgeous Mercedes, I do love that thing. I'm very sad whenever Enrique Marcos disappears from the front of the order, because he's had a lot of bad luck this season, but he still had a race win on his books for this campaign. And now he's continuing to push and chase down our race leader, Gergo Balai. The best thing as well for Enrique is the fact that he's got 12 seconds over Chava Higuedas behind him as well, so he's got a huge gap back to the next guys. He's got a big buffer to be able to push. He doesn't have to worry about a truck being behind him trying to make a move on him. You know, like I mentioned earlier with Jorge Vila, he was trying to get past Chava Higuedas, but he had other trucks behind him, so he couldn't always attack because it just compromised his exit. Side by side once again in the top right of your screen here between Robin Kroitov and Lucas Hahn. They're still glued to each other. Down to Curva Quercia. Lucas is running him all the way over to the right-hand side, only giving him the minimal room there. Two real-world racers really going at it here, while Vincent Lahost has a front-row seat for it. Vincent's been great this season as well. He joined us from the Slovakia ring onwards and has just continually improved and always been up there inside the top 10. But here is the leading duo. Gergo Balai and Enrique Marcos have set a great example in this race. Norbert Kish now side by side with Chava Higuedas of Urban Sim Racing, fighting each other as hard as they like. Great respect by Higuedas round the outside, leaving the room. Norby making sure it's tucked to the inside and braking early there. That's Chava go in front. Love the way these things slow down for that hairpin. It looks so elegant and smooth, but when you're on board with the truck and you see all of the steering inputs and the way they're going this way and that way, it's mighty difficult. Around the final corner they go to start the 8th lap of the race. Gergo Balai and Enrique Marcos already on it, and a long way round it as well. They're just going up towards turn 4 now, while these guys fight over 3rd and 4th position. Again though, Norby's got a bit of a buffer behind him to Lucas Hahn and Robin Kroitov, who are having a fight of their own, so he doesn't need to worry too much right now about trying a move on Higuedas. And to be fair, the two of them will just be really enjoying the battle in this later stage of the season. Norby knows that with Jorge Vila out of the race, Julien Martin out of the race, he's not really got anybody that's going to completely upset the rhythm and upset the flow. And Lucas has actually got a slight gap now over the truck behind him as well. So Robin Kroitov not able to attack as much on this lap. Still, what a great fight between these guys. Once again, excellent entertainment all evening. Here's Gillian Christian chasing down Alberto. In the background there, that I believe was Chabot Kerry going very wide in truck number 79. I think Kerry's actually a lap down by the look of it. It says he's 1 minute and 47 seconds behind Victor Chabados in front of him. He's almost a lap down, so to speak. This is Gillian Christian, truck 17. Racing with the number 43 of Alberto, who's just gone a little bit too deep into the hairpin. They both go deep into there, though. Down the inside, Henry Tyhus has to get out of it, though. Has to back out slightly, and Marcos has got past Balai. Enrique Marcos has taken the race lead from Gergo Balai. He's done that towards the end of the lap, and the Spaniard leads the race now in the Mercedes Actros. Just a handful of laps left to go. He's already got 1 race win this season. He's hoping to make it 2 in the very finale and cement his place in 4th place in the championship. Although with Robin Kroitov in 6th, it could be close, you know, between those guys. So we'll have to see. Oh, Alberto's dropping down the order. It's Balai. Balai sends it in. Oh, goodness me. Big bit of contact from Gergo Balai at turn 2. That came out of absolutely nowhere. Wow, he really threw that in there, did Balai. That was not on, I don't think. That was a big send. We'll see whether he chooses to give the place back or anything when he's in a position to down the straight. Seems like he's lost a little bit of time to Enrique Marcos in those corners, but not sure whether that was retaliation. We didn't see the original move from Enrique, in fairness, but you shouldn't really retaliate regardless. You know, that's what the protest system's in place for stuff like that. If a move was, you know, unfair or an illegal move, so to speak. But Gergo Balai, wow, big send down the inside. Right old bit of contact that was. as we say up north. Now Enrique is going to be hunting as hard as he can to try and get that place back and do what he can. Big four-wheel slide there into the hairpin at the top. Now he chases him once again back down the hill. Csaba Hegedus and Norbert Kiss are actually closing on these guys. They've gained a couple of seconds over the last lap or so, based on the fact that these guys are fighting, I suppose. We're about to start lap 10 of the race. We've got 3 laps left to go here in the final race of the Goodyear FIA European Truck Racing Championship Digital Racing Challenge. It's been a very, very enjoyable season, a very lively one at that. Plenty going on all of the time, all over the place. And Enrique is just throwing the truck at whatever corners he can. You can see he's trying to be as smooth as possible to catch back up with Balai and not overdo it. Here's Norbert Kish holding on to 4th place at the moment. I think, you know, he's letting Hegedus have that podium position. I don't think he's wanting to push too hard to get by. But then again, this is Norbert Kish. He'll win everything that you give him a chance to win. So we'll see how that changes in the final few laps. If it does, though, we'll see. He's a good sportsman as well when it comes to it. So, yeah, we'll keep our eyes on that battle. But Csaba Hegedus holding on really well in 3rd place at the moment. Lucas Hahn in 5th, Robin Kruithoff in 6th place. It's Gergo Balai and Enrique Marcos up at the front. Still scrapping away. Balai very sideways. That gives the overlap there to Enrique Marcos. Now this back straight has got a slight left curve to it as they head down towards Curva Quercia. You'd think that Marcos would have this done. He's a bit sideways on the brakes, throws it in. Great respect by Balai, leaves him plenty of room. Got a good run on the exit though and goes to the left-hand side. Not sure if he just lost the back end a little bit there actually, Balai, and the back end just sort of dragged him over that way. I'm not sure. Enrique gets it stopped very heavily for the hairpin at the top, and he regains the race lead now, does the Spaniard. Just 2 laps to go after the completion of this one, and that will be it for the season. There is champion-elect Norbert Kish. No one can catch him outside of Jorge Vila now. And Jorge has indeed disconnected from the server completely. His campaign, unfortunately, is over. A massive shame that it went that way, though. We never wanted it to end in contact at the end of the day. Everybody wanted a fair fight, and it's not to say it wasn't a fair fight, really. It was just one of those moments, a tiny bit of contact just messed with the physics that little bit. And Jorge Vila was unfortunately the victim of it as, ooh, contact. There was a big slide there by Csaba Hegedus. Norby now finds an opportunity to look down the inside. That's all the door he needs. It's just slightly ajar. The door wasn't even open there for Norbert Kish. Just got his foot in, and then he's managed to pry it open and get an opportunity here. Although, look behind them, Lucas Hahn. I mean, you don't have to look far. Lucas Hahn right behind them in the Iveco wants a piece of this. Norby tries to carry the speed around the outside of turn 1. And that's the move I was on about, into turn 2. He then secures it. Lucas Hahn wants a piece of that as well, tries to get his nose down the inside of Hegedus, and this is the perfect opportunity now for Robin Kruithoff to come through as well. So this race coming alive again in the final moments here, as these battles have been going on and on and on. And now suddenly it's erupting once more. Robin Kruithoff, the number 45 Scania T for the Dutch truck racing team, the Rainbow Warrior truck racing, trying everything. Just glances the front left off the right rear of Lucas Hahn. And look, all of a sudden, with that battle going on, Norbert Kish has disappeared up the road. He is gone. He's got a good second advantage now over these guys as he holds on to 3rd place in the race. Enrique Marcos has opened up his advantage over Gergo Balai as well, actually. It's nearly a second between those two. Robin Kruithoff will continue to try and push to get past Lucas Hahn. Again, he's another driver that's wanting to make a move without having another truck right up his exhaust pipe behind him. I say that like the exhaust comes all the way out the back of these trucks. It doesn't. It comes out the sort of bottom right or bottom left, just behind the front wheels most of the time, where the turbocharger is. Still, you know what I mean. We've got 1 more lap to go here in the Goodyear FIA European Truck Racing Championship Digital Racing Challenge here on our official YouTube channel. And it looks like our lead battle is not quite done yet. Gergo Balai may have lost a bit of time to Enrique Marcos. But Gergo is definitely potent enough to still catch up with a decent enough final lap. Last lap starts now. White flag is in the air. We'll see what our drivers can do to make this one erupt one last time. Csaba Hergédis has got a decent gap over Lucas Hahn though. None of them potentially threatening each other into turns 1, 2 and 3, but we'll have to see how they get on partway through the lap. German Tobias Martinez is unfortunately disconnected from the server. We've got another retiree there. We're on the final lap of the season now, and I can't believe it's come around that quickly, to be honest with you. Been another one of those examples of time flying when you're having fun, so to speak. There's Victor Shabardos, the Hungarian driver, the only one in a Volvo this season, as we've said. Been pushing very hard to make the most of that Volvo this season, and he's done a pretty good job of it. The Globetrotter branding above the windscreen as well. Just heads around the final corner now behind Andreas Wagner and David West. Just inside the top 20 onto their final lap of the campaign. Enrique Marcos though has got Gergo Balai at arm's length now. He's over a second ahead of him. Managed to fend him off. He's had to overtake him twice. He's being headbutted into turn 2 a couple of laps ago, but he's recovered from it really well, and he kept his head as well. He didn't make the re-overtake a dirty move or anything. He did it cleanly, he did it respectfully, and that's what this racing should be all about. Very easy in sim racing with the lack of consequences to retaliate, cause intentional contact and cause an issue for your other competitors, but these guys 99% of the time have not done that, and it's been a brilliant season of it. And Enrique Marcos is one of the stalwarts of the championship. You can see he's drifting it already, celebrating this potential race win. It's going to be his second race win of the season. And around the final corner, Enrique Marcos has done it at Misano. He finishes the season with a victory. Gergo Balai finishes in second place. And your champion for the 2024 Digital Racing Challenge is Norbert Kish. Was there ever any doubt? I don't know. But Norbert Kish takes the title, his 4th Digital Racing Challenge title, ahead of Csaba Hergédis next up. Lucas Hahn gets a top 5 result. Bit of contact after the line there, but that's all well and good now. Robin Kruithoff was next up in 6th place. Vincent Lahosse finishes in 7th. Very well done to Vincent. Great season for him, especially as he only joined us from the Slovakia ring onwards. Then it was Cornel Burkes. Jari Stark ends up with a top 10. Fantastic stuff from him. Nathan Smith completes the top 10 in 10th spot, ahead of Bastian Donker with Gyula Zentai in 12th place. Then it was Gillian Christian in 13th position. Henry Taihus next up in the 15 truck in 14th place. He was ahead of Jose Alemani in the Freightliner. Jose Maria Rosa, very lively driver once again this season. Maybe not always for the right reasons. What on earth is he doing there? He's then got Alberto in truck number 43 behind. Then it's Norbert Juhasz, David West and Andreas Wagner who complete the top 20. Victor Shabardos finishes 21st ahead of Julian Ressel, with Shabox Kerry in 23rd. Then we had 4 drivers unfortunately not finishing the race: German Tobias Martinez, Julien Martin, Bjorn Taihus and Jorge Villa, and everybody crowding around Norbert Kish to congratulate him on his title, and his teammates as well at Revège Sim Racing also joining him. Gergo Balai and of course their teammate. Where's he gone? I'm so sorry everybody. Oh, look at that, 4 wide actually as they go down there. The 4 Hungarian drivers. Cornel Burkes in there. Brilliant stuff. Brilliant entertainment. They all make their way round the hairpin at the top. Sorry, it was Gillian Christian, wasn't it? For some reason I just couldn't find him on the timing tower at all. Norbert Kish doing a bit of drifting down the back straight and getting up to speed to run down towards the end of the lap, and he will then peel into the pit lane, and you can see Csaba Hergédis wiggling the truck around side by side as well, and then Cornel Burkes in there too. They're all now getting a big run down to the braking zone. Norby sends it in sideways. Oh, doesn't quite make the apex, but rather cuts across it. Misano groundskeeper may not be his best friend after that one. Oh no! Alberto hits the back of the number 34 machine. Norby doesn't care. He's kept his foot in it. He is champion. Done it for the 4th time here in the Digital Racing Challenge. There's Robin Kroitoff as well, sideways around the last corner. I'm pretty sure he may have held on to that 3rd place in the championship. We'll do some maths and we'll see what we've got. But we should have, in just a moment, some highlights. We'll go over said highlights now for you. And in the meantime, we'll try and get some provisional results together. And then we'll give you the points as the season stands as of right now. We'll be back in a few minutes. Oh, apologies, everybody. So for the final time, I thought I'd gone a bit early there. I do apologise, everyone. So we have now potentially got the provisional results of the championship for you, so we can confirm some points. And we know, of course, that Norbert Kish is the champion for the 4th time in the Goodyear FIA European Truck Racing Championship Digital Racing Challenge. We hope you enjoyed the highlights, and of course, hope you enjoyed the racing as well. But we'll see if we can just get the points up for you and show you the graphics so you know exactly where people stand. Obviously, this is provisional. There shall be protests and other penalties and things applied if there are such findings. But this is how the driver rankings look at the end of our 8 race meeting campaign. Norbert Kish takes the win by 15 points over Jorge Villa after a titanic scrap all season. Really, really good stuff. They did such a great job all season of keeping it very interesting. Robin Kroitoff does indeed hold on to 3rd place in the championship ahead of Enrique Marcos, with Lucas Hahn in 5th position. Csaba Hegedus eventually finishes in 6th ahead of Gergo Balai for Revo Sim Racing. Vincent Lahoste finishes 8th. What a season he had. Brilliant stuff from Vincent Lahoste ahead of Cornel Burkes, and Jari Stark manages to secure a top 10 result with 367 points. Then it was Nathan Smith ahead of Gillian Christian, with Benjamin Rico Rodriguez next up ahead of German Tobias Martinez. Sasha Lenz eventually in 15th place, but he did miss a bunch of the rounds. Bastian Donker 16th ahead of Gyula Zentai. Aitor Marinas in 18th. Bjorn Taihus 19th. And Jonathan Andre in 20th position. And looking at the team's championship standings, it's Revesh Sim Racing that take the title by over 200 points from Urban Sim Racing, Cornell Burkas and Chava Hagedis. Great consistency all season. Dutch Truck Racing team were next up with Panyos Albacete in 4th and then Force of Asgard in 5th. The remaining teams were SG Stern, Rising Suns Motorsport, HVML Esport Team and No Turbo No Party at the bottom of the pile. But that, unfortunately, everybody, is all we've got time for tonight and for this season in the Goodyear FIA European Truck Racing Championship Digital Racing Challenge. I said it one more time and it did definitely roll off the tongue. Thank you to everybody for taking part this season. Thank you for everybody that has been a part of the series and for organising it. Thanks very much to Gero Mulkow as well, our director, who's done so much hard work every single day on this. And it's been great to work with him once again. Thank you to everybody for watching. It's been a joy. I've been Chaz Draycott, the commentator for the Goodyear FIA European Truck Racing Championship and the Digital Racing Challenge. And I hope to see you again when the real season gets underway in a few weeks' time. But for now, enjoy the rest of your evening and we'll see you soon.